Hey, people. What's going on?
Shut the fuck up. Hey, everybody. That didn't work at all.
Yes, it did.
Jared and I here with peanut butter.
Peanut butter or no, I've got this.
It's July 20. No, this is your podcast for July 28th. This would be episode 9.
I need a beer. It's sticking to the roof of my mouth.
Did I say everything?
I think.
July 28th, episode 9. We can't fucking focus today. Mike's mashing on a peanut butter sandwich over here.
Oh, man.
So I'm gonna call him any sort of
PB.
PB patches. I don't know.
PB
Mike's peanut butter from now on
PB
this
and
podcast. Why don't you crack those open, huh?
Okay. We're going with a local brewery again.
Yeah?
It's just a normal Pilsner. Great Pilsner Grower oder Grower in German. It's a German Aussprache. It's just a normal German Pils. That's all it is.
Listen, Mike, you're going to have to carry us today. I'm dragging ass. I'm tired of shit.
Hey, I've got something to get your juices flowing. How excited are you now to get back to America? How excited are you to be back home and experiencing all the shit you want to experience but can never?
I'm pretty excited. I got to be honest. I go back about every 2 or 3 years. So I don't go back often. I guess some people go back more, but around the time I go back, it's always around 2 or 3 years I really start missing it. I go back for 2-3 weeks, and then I'm actually okay. For a while. How often do you go back to the States?
We go back every year with the kids. We got
every year. Do you?
At least yeah, absolutely. The one when Jeannie was born, we went twice or 3 times in a year.
Yeah, I remember that. But
right after Jeannie was born, we flew, and actually, we were like, "Oh my God, is this going to be okay with the kid, with the baby on the plane?" Babies are great on the plane. You put them in a thing.
I don't know about that. Babies. That's a pretty. No. I can't fucking talk on the subject.
Babies.
Okay.
Like she was young. She was a month and a half.
Is there a limit? Like, can you take a baby on as it's being born on a plane?
I think babies have been born on planes.
Don't take medical advice.
And by the way,
from sex, drugs, and opera.
Yeah,
okay?
right. Consult your local professionals
before you have a baby on a plane.
Right, before you have a baby on a plane, and don't do it for the free airfare. Have you ever heard? He just hurt himself. What'd you do, dude?
I didn't realize there was shit under this table.
Well, there's shit under this table.
We got a new table.
We got a new table. Like I said, we're moving up in the world. Every week there's something new.
Yeah.
But listen, don't have the baby on the plane thinking that the baby will get free airfare for the rest of its life. There's that myth going around. That is just not true.
What if the baby's born on the plane?
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. Of course that's not true.
Of course it's not true. Of course it's not true.
You know how many pregnant people you'd see on planes?
Right. Well, they also have the right, if you're really, really...
You guys hear that?
Oh my God!
There's some sawing going on out there.
Nice. Oh yeah, they might be sawing. They're doing some construction next door. But anyway, they can refuse you entrance onto a plane
for being pregnant.
For being too pregnant. If they say you're too pregnant, it's too much of a medical risk, and they say no, we're not doing that. I understand that too.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Have a baby doctor on each plane?
I was talking to a doctor the other day, actually, randomly.
No, you weren't.
I was, man. And they said that it's sometimes as a doctor it's kind of frustrating flying because you can't get wasted or be too drunk because it's very often that you have, like the movies, like, is there a doctor here?
Yeah.
And if they see doctor, because in Germany they're big about titles. Everyone's doctor, professor.
Right.
And if they see doctor on your ticket, more often than not, a flight attendant will come up to you and say,
we're limiting you.
You're a doctor. Listen, if we need you, what kind of doctor are you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you a brain surgeon? What are you in case we need you?
Because
it's very often that they need a doctor.
Do you think they get compensated for that?
No,
then?
sorry. This wasn't a doctor I was talking to. This was a flight attendant.
Okay.
And she said that, they very often will ask and, like, interview them. And she says on her planes, it's like every time they say, is there a doctor? There is one. Almost every time. They count on it. You know?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but, that's what I mean. So you can't just expect somebody to do that sort of high stress, high stakes medical work and not be compensated somehow. So do you think the airlines compensate them?
I'm sure if you
they
did that,
should.
I don't think there's a policy, but I'm sure if you did that, they would probably maybe comp your ticket or something for a PR. But
for real,
it's expected of the doctors on the planes, man. That
that's
you
what
might
I
have
mean.
to do that stuff. But that's stressful as a doctor.
It's stressful as a doctor, and
I'm stressed if somebody knows I'm an opera singer and they're like,
sing or something.
And I'm like, oh shit, somebody might ask me to sing something. But could you imagine, like, you're just trying to have a good time, going to visit your family.
You're trying to get fucked up on a
you
plane.
You got to do heart surgery with a fucking pen.
You get those little bottles of scotch, and now, here we go. His heart surgery with a pen.
I say it all the time, man. Like, what we do is stressful, but goddamn, it's not fucking surgery.
That's right.
If you're a surgeon and you fuck up, people die, you kill someone, then you got to go back to work again the next day.
If you fuck up, you're the only person that dies on stage.
Yeah, and then you have to, and then they have to go back to work and do it again.
Yeah.
I fuck up, I take a bath, I cry in the bubbles, like, yeah.
Salty bubbles.
Yeah.
Salty
Eat
bubbles.
pasta in the bathtub, and then I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, if she even says they're counting on doctors to be on the plane, then excuse me, there should be some sort of compensation for it. Yeah. If there's not, then get your own fucking doctor. I don't know.
But anyway, sorry about the States. We're flying. My family. I grew up in Seattle, and my family moved to California. So I don't know shit about California. Actually, I've been to California a few times. They moved. I'm not going to say the city they moved in case one of you fucking maniacs try to come find me. But it's like in the center of the state. It's like 3 hours away from everything.
That's broad enough.
From L.A., from Los Angeles, from Las Vegas, from the coast. I'm not going to L.A.,
They really have to be a maniac to find you. If they can find you after saying, I'm in the middle of the state, middle of California, and they do the effort, then congratulations to them.
But I mean, still West Coast. Every time I go back, I go to the West Coast.
But dude,
I'm upgrading to the direct flight. I used to do this like Frankfurt to Amsterdam to fucking New York to Chicago to Seattle.
Yeah.
Because it was 35 hours, but it would cost nothing. Fuck that. I'd rather not go. I spend the extra money, man.
I'll tell you what we discovered last time. So when Jeannie was born, we did 2 trips back. On the second trip back, we had the jet lag going from Europe to America is not bad. Coming back can fuck you up, and especially with kids. The kids get really fucked up. I mean, when we came back the one time, we did just normal flight times.
Yeah.
Their sleep rhythm was fucked up for weeks.
You know
weeks.
what's weird, too?
But wait. What we discovered last time is we took this direct flight from Frankfurt to Pittsburgh, and our flight back left at something like 10:30 at night. Like 10:30, 11 at night or something, which means that the kids get on the plane. They're dead tired from a totally normal day. Right. We fly, and they sleep almost the entire way. So do we, because we're dead tired also. You get there, and it's like 11 o'clock the next day, and they're waking up ready to have a nice day. The jet lag was basically 0 days. I will never do anything else again. It's the best way.
Yeah, it's worth the little bit of extra money.
Absolutely.
Fly direct, because otherwise you're going to fuck up a whole day of your vacation or a whole day of coming back because you wanted to save $80.
But dude, it would devastate me if my parents moved away from our old place.
It's hard, man, because that's the house I grew up in, and it's weird to think that I'll go there. My mom will be like, "So this is our living room,"
right? That you don't know it.
Your parents will like show you their house.
Man, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, but a lot of people go through it. I think. Yeah, it's part of growing up.
I'll be angry at my parents if they do that. They wouldn't do that. That place is ours. We got it. You got to come by sometime. You got to come there and see our place, and then also the camp we have up on the river.
Yeah, I mean, I love the East Coast. I grew up on the West Coast, but I lived and before I moved to Europe, I lived on up and down the East Coast. And I love it out there. I love the people, but somehow the time difference, I find the 6 hours to Europe is harder than the 9 to the West Coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because 9 is like
6 hours.
It's like
dude,
the
it doesn't take you 6
wait.
hours. It takes you like
the time difference.
7.5 or 8. Oh,
the time difference.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's like 12 hours to fly to the West Coast from here, but like the time difference of 6, it's like that's hard because you're going from the middle of the afternoon. It feels like 3 p.m. to you to 9 p.m.
Right.
But something about it being like noon and 9 p.m. It's like you're trading a morning for an evening. I find that's not as hard. I find the East Coast is for me at least.
Oh, totally. Well, even if you want to talk to somebody on the East Coast, right? If it's 12 o'clock, if it's noon, there's 6 a.m. So you give them some time. 3 o'clock, they've woken up. It's 9 o'clock. Everything's good, you know. At 3 o'clock our time, it's still 6 o'clock in the morning. You guys are 3 hours different, right?
We're 9.
Right, if 3 hours different from the East Coast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it would be 6 o'clock when it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, so you have to wait until 6 p.m. 6 p.m. before you can talk to somebody really effectively on the West Coast. That sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have like a long distance relationship from West Coast to Europe, it's like someone wakes up, you can talk to them in the morning before they go to work when you're coming home from work.
Yeah.
But if it's East Coast, it's like, it's fucking 3 p.m. and they're going to bed.
Yeah.
That's harder. I don't know. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
So what are you looking forward to when you get back, dude?
Whenever people ask me this question, it's always the food. It's always the food for me.
Really?
Yeah. When people are like, "What do you miss about America?" There's some like deeper, more broader things I miss if I really think about it. But the immediate gut reaction is always that fucking Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
There's no Taco Bell in Europe. If you're moving to Europe and you're eating that crunchy fucking cheese gordita Crunchwrap Supreme, that's mine. Okay, that's my thing. My order is I get the Crunchwrap Supreme, cheesy gordita crunch, 2 soft tacos, high C. All right?
High C.
You remember high C, Ben?
I remember High C. I just didn't know you were allowed to drink it after you reached the age of 8.
Look at this. What are you talking about, man?
High C is
I
a
went to Burger King
drink.
yesterday. I got a fucking raspberry Powerade, a sundae, and a fucking Baconator, man. It was fantastic.
So what? There's not enough fast food for you over here.
I fucking love Mexican food. I love it, man. And they did not figure it out here. I've been to Mexican places in Berlin.
Well, they don't have any Mexicans
Hamburg,
here.
Frankfurt. If anyone, and I don't want to hear from the European people, but if there's Americans living in Europe and you guys have found a good Mexican restaurant that tastes like Mexican food back in the States, in Germany, you write me an email. All right?
Do it now.
Because I've been to the Mexican restaurant in Berlin, in Hamburg, in Dusseldorf, in Frankfurt, in the small cities, fucking Oldenburg, Osnabrück, wherever, and none of it's good.
Right.
My own Mexican food's better than what I find.
You probably know better than I do too. But West Coast has better Mexican food than Pittsburgh does. I bet.
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's one of those things where, like, when you grow up in America, you think everything you have on the West Coast is like the East Coast.
Yeah.
But it's not, man. The first time I moved to the East Coast, I would talk about grocery stores from the West Coast. I'd be like, "Is there a Fred Meyer around here?" And they'd be like, "Who the fuck is that?"
You were in Pittsburgh. You had to go to Giant Eagle.
Fucking Giant Eagle, baby.
Eagle. Say it.
No.
Say Giant Eagle.
Giant
Eagle.
Eggo waffles.
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of like it. It kind of sounds that way. That's right.
Yeah, you guys have Giant Eagle, and then you guys have what's like the Tankstelle place? Like it's,
Sheets.
Nah, it's some of the Wawa, man. You got the Wawa out there.
Wawa. No.
Oh, that's Philadelphia, maybe.
Dude, Sheets is a big deal. Sheets has this this thing where the store has now basically surpassed the store with the Tankstelle. What the fuck is Tankstelle?
Sorry,
gas station.
Convenience store.
Station.
A
The
convenience
convenience
store.
store with the gas station has like way surpassed it.
Yeah.
Now it's basically a restaurant that has a gas station with it. Sheets, because they have this thing called MTO, made to order.
Yeah.
And you go on this screen and you can build a burger the entire way through. Exactly what you want on it, and they make it right there, fresh for you, and then boom, it's out there, and it's not bad. It takes no time at all.
Well, then let's ping pong back and forth.
Let's
okay?
ping it and pong it.
For me, it's honestly, it's the Taco Bell, also the teriyaki chicken on the West Coast. I fucking love that shit.
Can we please find some fucking General Chow's chicken here?
Yeah.
General So, however you pronounce it. No Chinese restaurants have it here.
Yeah,
Why?
that's true. There's weird shit you miss. Like Havarti cheese doesn't fucking exist out here. They don't do sourdough bread.
That's right.
And Germans, you guys love soup and you love bread, but why are you not doing the bread bowl? Why not?
Well, no, I think I might have seen it once before, but it's not a
fucking
common
rare.
thing. It's not a common thing.
And what do you guys have against clam chowder? Huh?
Oh, come on. I mean, what do you have for clam chowder? You're
I
a
grew
West
up with
Coast
the
guy.
fish out there, okay? If you can't smell the barnacles,
I thought
okay,
clam chowder.
then fuck off.
Clam chowder was a
of course,
fucking
Boston,
East Coast,
man, the East
Boston thing.
Is that me that turns that light
Yeah,
on?
dude, it's you. When you move, his back is to the motion sensor, so when you move, when you get all excited about clam chowder, then
Look, we're taking this is our last podcast. For you guys, I guess you'll hear this at the end of the July.
yeah, you'll be in. You'll be in.
I'll still be in the States when we air this.
But I'll be back, I think.
But that's actually 2 months from now.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back, and we're going to try to keep on the 2-week schedule, but we're recording these in advance because we'll be gone doing some performing, then also we're going to the States. But when we come back, we're going to be trying to make a transition to video if we can soon. And then you
It's
guys
in the works.
then you guys can see what we're fucking doing.
There are things in the works.
There's some visual stimulus that you're missing out on.
I'm all about the visuals,
especially from Mike's side,
I'm I'm a sight to behold most of the time. It's most of the time a goofy sight, but and I don't mean to do it that way. You know, my wife will sometimes say, "Why are you making that funny face?" I'm like, I'm not trying to make a funny face. That's just kind of.
I can confirm.
Some people have resting bitch face, and I have resting weirdo face.
Fucking resting.
I can't believe I won such a beautiful wife, though.
Yeah,
dude, how did I do that?
I don't know, man.
How the no, seriously, I sometimes
you tricked her young.
I'll be I'll be looking at my wife in the kitchen or something like that, or wherever she is. That sounded bad. That sounded a little sexist. I didn't mean to say that's where she is. She's in the kitchen. I mean, that's not what I meant at all. Not at all.
You're okay. You're okay.
I was
okay.
literally thinking of a specific moment where she was in the kitchen. I looked at her and I said to myself, holy shit, I don't deserve that. I definitely have not won that with this, and I'm pointing towards my face right now, people. I didn't win it with that.
Yeah, you're a lucky guy, man. You got a son.
I won it with
daughter,
something else, and I'm pointing to a
right
different part of my body now. Here we go.
So listen.
Here we go.
I'm gonna bring you back around. I miss the food. Okay, I could go on. I could do a whole food podcast, but I won't. What are you missing, man?
Well, I mean, let me get my food stuff in.
All right. Talk about food for a while.
Oh, by the way,
fun.
there's Chipotle in Frankfurt. I mean, it's not like
yeah, but Chipotle to me
it's
never.
not Mexican, but come on, that's good. That's good.
It is good, and they do it like the States. But even in the States, Chipotle was always like the healthy version.
Right.
I want that like Taco Bell Azteca, like what the fuck is this meat? You know.
I had a friend in college, and he and his Mexican mom they came and they made something for us, and I only found out what it was after I took the first bite. I could not believe how much I did not like the taste of this thing. It was cow stomach. Which she said was a very Mexican.
Yeah, and
Mexican
by the way,
thing.
when I say Mexican food, I'm not talking about actual Mexican food. I'm talking about Americanized.
No. This was
chemical
actual
Mexican food.
No, this was actual Mexican food.
Yeah,
and it was cow stomach, and I felt like a cow stomach. My whole body felt like an entire cow stomach, and it was awful.
You know what I mean, though? Like
there was other stuff that was good. It was just that cow stomach that stuck with me, dude.
But it's like when I say Mexican food, like or Chinese food, I'm not like, and I'm sure the food they have in China is great. I've never been there. I've eaten Mexican food in Mexico. It's different, also good. I'm talking about the Americanized, fake, artificial shit. You know?
That's all we got, dude.
Which we grew up with, and there's like something nostalgic about that. But have you ever tried to show like a German person who did not grow up with that, like, here, try a Twinkie or try Gushers or a Pop-Tart? They will think that shit's fucking disgusting, man.
Yeah, but Gushers, come on.
Try
How
to
can
show
you think
someone
a
root
Gusher-
beer that has never had root beer in their life before as an adult. They will think that shit's gross, man. Every time.
It's funny. I used to drink root beer like it was the water of life.
Yeah.
Like it was going to revive me as a child. And now I can't really do it anymore. I can have one root beer float. If I drink more than that, my stomach literally gets upset. I can't do it.
I used to live near an A&W. Did you have A&W on the East Coast?
Yeah, sure.
Oh man,
A&W's all over the place.
You remember? I mean, back in the day, you could drive up there and you could do like the food on the side of your car in the window.
Yeah.
And you would get that fucking like. See, I'm gonna say liter. I don't even know how much it is in America anymore.
Yeah.
How much is a liter? Like
I don't know.
Like 2 pints. A big fucking glass of root beer, man. Frothy and cold.
Yeah.
Oh man, that got my little preteen hog snorting.
That made my teeth sweat. Oh, shit.
All right, let's get off food.
What do I miss? I mean, the obvious thing, I miss family.
Yeah.
I miss having my family around. That's if you're gonna travel, if you want to do something like this, people have said to me before, and this isn't patting my own back. I'm just saying this is what you have to hear sometimes. People will say, "Man, that's a courageous move."
Yeah.
You're moving over there. That's a courageous move. I never thought of it that way. I thought that's where I'm gonna get some jobs. You know, that's where my job prospect is. I'm gonna go there. That's it. All there is to it. And I didn't find it to be a courageous thing. What is hard, what is difficult, is leaving things that are immediately familiar, like the most close things to you. And my family, I come from a tight family. We hang out all the time. That's why I can't wait to go back. You know, just the routine of being part of it, which I never get to feel. You know, my brothers. They make a joke. Hey, you're not even part of this family anymore. Get the hell out of here, right?
Yeah.
Just because they're brothers, they're awesome. And they make those sorts of jokes. But it cut deep. It cuts deep
No,
because it
it's-
feels that way sometimes.
Well, and like the nature of adaptation is, I think you don't miss things sometimes until you're around it again. You know?
Dude, I just was thinking how high my voice, because it feels that way sometimes. Do that. Let me hear you do it.
Man, I'm
Let
too
me see if you
tired.
can do it.
Feels
that way.
talking to me all the time.
That's how.
But
But that's my note. That's actually where it sits. That's insane,
man,
dude.
That would be exhausting. Can you talk down where I talk?
Yeah, of course I can. I can talk where you talk all the time.
Of course I can. You're a bit high, man. Get down.
No, I'm
get
not.
down here. No, I'm not. You're up
Let
there.
me hear you sing your lowest note. I'll bet you I can match it.
No,
I'll bet you I can.
we're not singing.
Dude, I'm just saying, don't fuck with me.
Can you get my radio notes?
Here we are with
You're
the
up here. You
radio.
get down there. You're not dropping it in the pocket. All right, stop.
You wanted me to do it? Whatever.
People are going to shut this shit off. Listen, all right, to turn it back around to a serious discussion about kind of what we talk about, not to get too dark, but moving to Europe is really fucking fun your first year. You know, it's all Instagram and Facebook photos and fucking seeing the sights and old buildings, and it feels amazing because maybe you visited Germany for 2 weeks, but to fucking live here for years and years
Completely
and
different
years.
story.
I would say a random statistic, I'd say a huge percentage of American singers come here and go home, and it seems 3 years seems to be the border where people break. And I have known many singers who come here with amazing training, the best training in the world. And the reason they go home is not a lack of work, money, or contracts, it's that they cannot cope with a different culture, being away from family. Because, hey, look, my brother's got kids, okay? He's got 3 kids. My sister's got kids. I haven't met all of them except one. And that was years ago. They grow up. I've missed funerals. I've missed weddings. Some of my best friends have just gotten married. The pictures look amazing, but I can't spend 2,000 euros to go back to Seattle.
Yeah.
12 hours there, 12 hours back. I can't do that.
Well, look, and I know you mean it this way, but let's clarify. There's nothing wrong with not being able to deal with that shit. That's hard shit. That's really hard shit to deal with, because the other thing you have to give up is not just missing what they're doing, but they're missing what you're doing too. They're missing it entirely, because you get married, it's probably not going to be that they come out and see your wedding either. I mean, it's difficult.
No, you're right. You just kind of, is that marijuana? What is
No,
that?
dude, that's those are stones I just pulled out of my shoe. Concentrate, dude.
Well, it looks like you just pulled out a couple of nugs, and I was like, well, this is our last podcast. Maybe you want to do a big
Let's
send-off,
do it.
you know?
What's your beer today? Weed. Weed.
I brought a line of Coke, and I'm going to slap Mike in the face. Nah, but really, man, it's people go home not because of the singing or the career. It has nothing to do with that. The family shit will win out. The
Dude, don't
family
get
shit
me-
will break you in the end.
I'm starting to get a little emotional. Let's move on to the next thing.
You go home every year. You go home every year.
I know, but
I'm
it's
saying-
hard to be away even then.
Yeah. But I'm saying people need to know.
Yeah.
Because no one told me, no one tells you that, because when you talk about going to Germany, everyone talks about, and we even on this podcast, we talk about the houses and the number and the auditions, but that's not the hard part.
Right.
That's not the hard part, man. Let's get happy again. All right, Taco Bell. Let's get off food. You got
You're up next. Mine was missing family and sadness.
There's a bunch of weird shit I want to do. Like I miss batting cages, roller rinks.
Yeah.
You know, less stuff doesn't exist here. And
Well, okay, you cannot say the roller rinks. We're literally
That is
20
not a
yards
roller rink.
from a roller rink.
No. A flat cement surface is not. I mean, maybe you didn't have this on the East Coast, but like indoors,
Of
lights,
course we did.
smoke,
Skate Castle,
popcorn.
Butler, PA.
Boom.
Skate Castle.
That's an American thing. I was talking to a British. Yeah, I was talking to a British
but
friend.
I can't go there anymore because it's. I
Well,
didn't know.
they've pretty much all closed
Right.
down. Drive-in movie. Whenever I go back to the States, I do a drive-in movie.
Missed that.
They're
but
they're hard to find, but they're
there's one kind of near you out where we lived in Frankfurt. That's a pretty good one out there.
like a proper like
A
popcorn
proper
drive-in.
popcorn
Yeah.
drive-in. You should check it out. Not to shit on your point. It's of course way more common in the States. But you live in Frankfurt. There's a lot to do there.
Nah, but it's all the Americana stuff, you know. It's floating the river. It's camping is the truck. It's
Truck, dude.
I don't know, man.
I want to ride in the back of a truck.
Yeah, I mean it's
You get a
it's all that stuff.
Strafenzettel here if you ride in the back of the truck.
My dad's got an old, I guess it's a Chevy, I think, and the speedometer doesn't work on it. Mm-hmm. That's what I drive every time I go.
Nice.
Just try to gauge how fast you're going.
Yes.
It's hard when you come from Germany to the States. One of the hardest adjustments is like I can't not fucking drive fast at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What,
I
60,
know.
70? That's because you get used to it. My first time I drove a car here, it was like I get to put the pedal down. Woo! But now it's fucking normal, dude.
If I get pulled over in the States, I swear to God, I'm gonna pull out my German driver's license and say, "Hey, look, can you? This is what I'm used to."
I have
right?
to look because I drive. I got a new car recently, and I've already driven it like 6,000 kilometers. Right?
Already? Are you serious?
Yeah, I've been to like Berlin, to Munich, I went to Switzerland,
God, dude.
and I drive an average of 160 kilometers. That's usually what I drive.
That's fast, dude.
Well, and I have no idea what that is in miles. That's 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
That's normal for me. I just put it on cruise control, 100 miles an hour for like 4 hours straight. And it doesn't feel fast anymore. And I mean, come on, in the Berlingo, man, we've definitely taken that thing up to 200.
That's why it's
so like
dead.
115, 100,
That's
120.
why it's dead now. That
No,
thing
man,
cannot
a lot
handle
of these like BMW, Audis, you can just put it on 200 kilometers, which
No.
is like 120 or some shit, and just go.
Definitely, my father-in-law has this beautiful car, beautiful
The
car,
BMW.
and you just you're going 120 miles an hour, and it
Yeah.
feels like you're going 70.
It's silent. You can whisper in there, and the car doesn't shake at all.
and it's just going.
Yeah. But when you go back to the States, you got to back it down to 60. That's fucking hard, man.
I know, dude. It's pulling back on those rabid dogs.
Rains a bit.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, that's okay. So look, the other part of this podcast is what's good here. Let me give a good one. So you just gave one with the speed limit.
Yeah.
Let me give a good one. I'll tell you this, people. I'm gonna get some shit for this. I'm gonna get some real shit for this. But
Yeah, I'm sitting up for this.
people who go against this don't really have experience with it. The metric system's better.
Of course.
The metric system
I don't
is
know how
better.
I don't know how you could argue that.
But not only that, did you know the way the imperial system is defined is based on the metric system? So without the metric so basically you're taking the metric system, which is the standard unit, and then converting it to another unit. So why not just make it all universal? Everything is based on these particular measurements which are in the metric system.
I don't
So
know
why not?
It's like flat earthers. Do you really have an argument for the metric system not being better? Is there one? I mean, there's some scientists out there. I'm sure there is. There must be a reason for it.
Well, there is one thing I've heard before. I cannot make the argument for you right now because it's an intricate argument, but a mathematician once explained to me, or not explained to me, he made a YouTube video about why base 12 is better than base 10.
Okay.
Why it makes more sense.
Yeah, there must be a reason.
We have a prejudice towards base 10 because we have 10 digits. And it is easy to work with, but there are serious advantages to having base 12. The thing is, most people don't fucking know why, so it doesn't necessarily matter. Everybody everybody basically sucks at math.
Yeah.
Just in the general
compared to a mathematician,
right,
we all do.
We all basically suck at math. That's why the metric system is so much better.
Yeah, I think it's
How
more-
many fucking meters are in a kilometer?
I think it's more intuitive. You
Right.
just drop
And you
zeros
just
off.
know it. You just
1,
drop a
10,
zero.
100, 1,000. Yeah, and you can convert, fluids to solids to whatever.
Yeah.
It's very easy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, from a day-to-day living, it's easier. Also, recipes in German,
Yeah, so I never cook, so I can't. I will not pretend like I can take the. I suck at it. So
I can't remember how it is in the States, but in Germany, if you buy sour cream, the recipes are always like the amount. Everything's extremely. What's the word I'm looking for, man? Like every door frame you buy, every window you buy,
standardized.
Yeah, everything's standardized. You know what I mean? If you need a handle, you don't have to check. It's gonna fit the door.
Well, I did.
You know what I mean?
I did buy the wrong size door once. Do you remember? Were you there? Didn't you? Oh no, you didn't go with me. But I bought the wrong size door. But I took it back and got the other size. So
Yeah, but I mean, there's
no
like
fucking
one or
problem.
two sizes, But like with cooking, it's like it's always going to be the 250 gram amount of sour cream or whatever. Yeah, I never have leftover stuff. It's like you just pour that in, pour that in, pour that in, mix it up.
Let me go with a miss. Something I miss. Right. I miss being able to watch a Steelers game or a Pirates game or a Penguins game at home.
Yeah.
Not just at home, but at any sort of normal time. I mean, yeah, if it's a 1 o'clock game, you can watch at 7 o'clock here. That works out fine, but that's not every game. And then, you want to watch those games still.
I was a huge sports guy before I came here, and now I'm not. Because
World
it's
Cup's
too
coming around,
complicated. Yeah, that's big out here, and I was watching some of the soccer stuff, but I fell out of it, man. The time difference is too big, and You can't go to a game out here. And also, I mean, to kind of relate to what you're saying, the sports bar culture out here. It's like if you go to a sports bar, it's some weird like copy of what an American sports bar kind of is.
Yeah.
But there's not like an actual authentic hot wing TV football sports bar.
You got to go to the big places. You got to go to the big places with like if you go to Dortmund, with those they have Dortmund football or soccer bars. They're just those, and it's
yeah,
not,
but there's not hot wings there. I'm not talking about just watching TV.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the whole American fried pickles bar culture.
Maybe I don't know.
I want some hot wings, fried pickle, and a pickleback shot. You know
there
what that
you
is?
Go. No,
I was doing a lot of those when I was in New York for a while. It's like a shot of whiskey, and then you chase it with a shot of pickle juice.
That's
man.
fucking.
You think it is, but try it.
I don't know what to say.
Try it.
I'm
for all you people listening out there.
I'm torn asunder.
Don't knock it till you try.
I'm torn asunder.
Look, pickleback shot.
Pickleback shot.
Yeah, no, I definitely the food and the bar culture. I miss. I'll see, man.
Just getting back there and being part of it again. I'm gonna be interested in that. But then again, I'll miss stuff here also. There will be something that I for instance, and I did this is a big one, and I don't want to start a big. If you guys want to argue about this online, you can. The healthcare system's just so fucking easy here.
Oh my God. Are you done? Can I jump in? Or
yeah, you
still
can
got
jump
some
in.
Shit? Okay, so yeah, I got sick as fuck when I first came to Germany my first year. Like, and I refused to go to the doctor because I didn't want to pay. Then one day I coughed up like a glass full of water. Right? Somehow out of my lungs came that much fluid. I was like, yeah, I got to go to the doctor because I might be dying.
I had no idea about that.
No, man, I was living in Blumenstrasse back then, man.
What the fuck?
And so I went to the doctor, and I remember I took 500 euros cash with me because I was like, this visit alone is going to cost me 150, and then whatever fucking medicine is going to be $200, and I want to make sure I have enough cash to cover it. I went to the doctor, saw the doctor. She did a full checkup on me, looked at everything, gave me antibiotics that cured me right away. Fucking $30. No insurance, right? I had traveler's insurance, but I didn't use it because there was a deductible, right? So I paid full price 30 fucking euros to go see a doctor and get antibiotics.
Yeah.
I had pink eye once in the States. The visit alone with insurance was like $100, and then this little vial of drops for like 2 days was also like $100. You know?
I mean,
I had swine flu in the States, and I didn't go to the fucking doctor because I couldn't afford it.
Plus,
that shouldn't be, man.
The thing is, if you're getting the sort of comprehensive coverage that you have here, right? What you would pay for that in the States, everybody says, well, it's so much more expensive here than it is in the States, right? It's actually not true.
What, paying insurance?
Yeah, that the cost of insurance in the end is, but because it's subsidized, what they say is, okay, good. If you take the entire cost of it and not what is subsidized by it, then it's more expensive. Might be true, but the cost to you and actually the entire cost if you take a comparable health if you take a comparable coverage plan, right? So in Germany, it's basically you don't fucking worry about anything. If you need the test, you get the test. Boom. That's all there is. It's paid like that. To get that sort of coverage in the States is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And I don't know, dude. It's in almost no way can I find that the American system is really better. Some people have made the argument about.
I mean, it's changing over is difficult. You know what I mean? Because like in America, you have this. Because I try to explain to German people sometimes that in America, the health plan you get through your employer is a big part of the employment package. Yeah. And in Germany, it's of course not a part of the employment package at all.
Yeah, but it just
it's
is.
Like you have health insurance, so it's about the salary and it's about other benefits, but you're not like, well, what kind of health insurance am I going to get with this job?
Well, for instance, my theater pays half of my.
I mean, yeah,
and
the
that's
work's
standard.
involved, but like I remember my dad back in the day looking for work, and it's like health insurance for his family was above the salary.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a huge part of hunting for a job.
Yeah.
And so to take the American system and to like all these people that are basically have health insurance through their jobs, and to like cut that out and be like, now you have a shittier like government thing. Switching over, I don't know enough to be able to talk about the realities of the economic change, but I mean, as a day-to-day individual, I will say this: worrying about your health or money are two of the most stressful things in life.
That's right.
Career, your girlfriend, vanity, that shit's not important. But if you are worried about your health or money, nothing will make your life suck more than those two things.
And the thing that sucks often in America is you hear people going into massive debt because of a health problem. So
that's
it's
both right there.
Both right there.
And I mean, this isn't like theoretical. I've experienced these things.
Right.
I've gone through hard things in my life, but money problems and health problems,
dude, and,
will fuck you up more than anything else.
It made me experiencing it here made me have to question myself just a little bit. You know me. I'm basically still a libertarian. I believe you do what you want to do, how you want to do it. It's not my job or the government's job to tell you how to fucking do it. You live your goddamn life.
Right.
And you live it exactly the way you want to fucking live it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a libertarian position on healthcare oftentimes has the government getting out of it. But look, if you're confronted with a system that works, if you're confronted with a system that is doing a good job, if you're honest, you have to reevaluate yourself. And I had to reevaluate myself because this system here is good.
Yeah.
It's good. The quality is good. Everything about it is good.
Yeah, I mean, I can only really comment on what's good and bad, but like as far as what works here and what would work in the States, you can't compare two countries, you know?
Yeah, but there's no thing like you're not in our network. What the fuck are you talking about? In Germany, there's just one thing. If you're in Germany and you've got health insurance, you can go to any doctor fucking ever.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree completely, but kind of a different point I'm bringing up is the fact that I think like in Germany you can drink in public.
Right.
I don't know necessarily if you introduce that law to America if they would handle it as well as Germany, because there's a lot of sociological things at play there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like yes, it feels better every day not having to worry about health problems, but like, could you just throw that into the American system? No, of course not. That's not what we're saying, because it's not a political podcast. I'm just talking about my experiences in my life as a singer.
Did we stir a hornet's nest here? I hope there's maybe some discussion.
No, I mean, this is an opera podcast, but if you're going to be an opera singer in Europe, this is a huge part of your life.
Yep.
And actually, we should talk about it more.
Yep.
Health insurance, saving, retirement, having a family, planning. Like, you don't think about this stuff when you're in college, but if you want to be an opera singer for 35 fucking years and you want to have this huge risk, peaks and valley way of earning money, even if you're Fest, what's the longest Fest contract you've ever had? Fest contract you had, like 3-4 years?
No, it's 4 years. 4 years, but it'll be longer now.
Yeah, but in the past, I mean, you kind of got a thing, but in the past, you used to be able to be unkundbar, which is like what, unfireable, or tenure, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah, you got tenure.
That's pretty rare these days. I hear a lot of guys getting fired, because how long do you have to work at a theater to be unfireable?
15 years is the limit. So if you're at a theater for 15 years, then you will get your
one
tenure,
theater,
which is way different than I'll explain that in a second.
Okay.
Which is way different than the chorus or the orchestra. If you're in the orchestra and you pass your trial time, you have unlimited immediately.
Yeah, they got a sweet gig.
And in the chorus, I think it's 1 year, 1 year or something like that, 1 or 2 years, and then you're unfireable. You've got tenure right away. Also, it's such a different thing for soloists standing on the stage. Which the other thing people don't recognize also, or don't really realize, is the chorus is paid better than most soloists.
That's a sweet gig.
A chorus, if you can get a chorus gig in Germany, dude,
that is a sweet gig. I mean, if you want to sing for a living, and you want to live in Europe, that is a good way to
stability.
Go. Yeah, if you want to have a family, kids, I sing every day. You know, I'm on stage, money, health insurance, retirement. Man, think about it.
Get a chorus.
You don't
get a chorus
have
gig.
Because being the soloist is not always. You don't always feel like a fucking star.
Right.
You know, sometimes you're working hard and you got to like really ask yourself like.
I'll tell you another thing. You want to know this?
You know?
This is fucking crazy, dude. So if you're in a big opera chorus, like in let's say Frankfurt or something like that, you have foreign language pay, which means if you do an opera that is not in German, you get paid extra for doing that opera because it's in a different language. Jesus. When I found that out, I almost shit all over the person next to me. I almost explode shit on somebody because I was like, what the fuck? I thought that was part of the job. I thought that was just part of the job is that you have to sing in different languages. But apparently you get paid for doing that. And the person I heard this from is an American.
Yeah.
And they were doing, I don't know, Peter Grimes or something like that, right?
What, English piece?
English piece. She's an American and she was getting foreign language pay for singing in her mother tongue.
Fuck yeah. Yeah,
Amazing.
man, there's a lot of benefits there with overtime and shit, you know? But, I mean, the point I was trying to make about the FES system is people get fired a lot at 14 years these days, okay?
Yeah.
It's different. The people teaching you at university, maybe they were unkundbar, but these days, people are getting fired at 14 years.
Let me say that.
It's not safe.
That's right. You cannot count on getting tenure as a soloist nowadays because what they'll do is they'll keep renewing your contract right until you will be tenured, and then they'll fire you. And sometimes they'll rehire you because they still want you
As a guest or something, yeah.
No, they'll rehire you fest again, but the 14 years starts over then.
Yep.
Which is
and
ridiculous.
This is by no means rare.
Oh, not at all.
I know many people, small houses and some huge houses that this has happened to. You know?
Yep.
So my point is that if you're living in Germany, you're never safe. And we should, when we get back after the summer, we should think about talking about some bigger issues, you know?
Absolutely.
Because politics is a sensitive thing, you know? Like social structures, economy, how it works here, like social systems and this type of stuff. But if you're going to have a career in Europe, or if you're going to have a career as a musician in the world, you have to think about this stuff.
If I'm going to have a career for any extended period if I'm going to have a career for any extended period from here in the future, I don't know how to fucking say this. I'm going to need another beer immediately, if not sooner, because I'm about to wither and fucking die for
I got the black shark, baby.
What is this? Is this the really
This is a black shark, man.
8.5%. 8.5%. Well,
this will get you there.
Oh. Ausgeprägte Röstaromen, Kaffee und Bitterschokoladentöne.
Yeah, a little bit of chocolate in there, huh?
Yeah, nice. Look, it's got some chocolate and coffee taste. You want to open mine, or should I just, look at it and pretend like I'm
that's
drinking?
Fucking good, man. The old black shark.
The black shark.
So we're gonna, I guess.
You don't have anything else you miss?
Nah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I do, but I mean, not to get too deep, but like, you kind of make your home where it is.
Absolutely.
And I could miss camping and this shit, but man, when we go up to your garden, when we go camping, we throw on the shorts, we throw on the flannel, we dig shit up, Dude, we have fires, like we build a little America here. We grill burgers.
That's right.
I make nachos at home, there's a lot of the stuff you can recreate here. You and we can take a bat and a ball and go to a field.
Definitely.
So a lot of it's kind of your responsibility.
Yeah.
Taco Bell, I can't really do that myself, but
you're dead a hell of a lot longer than you're alive. Do what you enjoy now, not later. Yeah. That's getting really, I guess, deep or whatever. But fuck it, seriously. If you want to play baseball, Amazon, you can get anything here on Amazon.
Well, don't put the responsibility on other people.
Yeah.
To make you happy, like. If you make your happiness conditional on, the weather, a southern accent, or like fucking Taco Bell, then you're going to have a really fucking hard time here.
That's
but
right.
If you're good at creating your own family network happiness and a bubble, that you can return to. Of course, you want to adapt. I'm not saying don't adapt. You'll be very unhappy in Europe if you don't acclimate to the culture.
Right.
Assimilate. That's the word I'm looking for. Don't sing it. But yeah, so yeah, I do. I miss food. I miss I miss driving that truck. I miss the West Coast. I miss Pike Place Market and them throwing salmon and shit. Like I miss all that stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
I miss it. But also, there's great things here.
Come to Germany.
Come to Germany.
Come to Germany.
Yeah, someday, like in 10 years, man, you and I should make a young artist program. But
who the fuck would join our young artist program?
That's what I mean. There's at least 5 fuckers out there in the world where it's like, look, You're going to get the real experience, okay? We're not going to put you in a nice hotel. We're not going to give you German lessons, you know? Like
You're going to be getting fucked up the night before, waking up at 11 and singing.
Because that's what you need,
shit.
okay? We'll get you into the theater world, okay? You got a big, important rehearsal tomorrow, but guess what? Boss wants you to drink.
Right. It's like in Korea. You're not allowed to turn down the drink. If you go out with your boss, you're not. It's really impolite to not drink with them. Yeah.
Seriously.
Really impolite. So we're going to make it sort of like, be personally offended if you come here and you don't drink with us. Even it's like the night before your big fucking premiere. You're like, hey, look at that. Do it. Drink it. No.
Nah, well, like
no.
I'll fuck with the air conditioning, you know, so you can't fucking sleep right, you know?
You'll be waking up the next day with a big Sharpie dick on your forehead.
Yeah. And then you go back to the States to like a young artist program and it's cozy and you'll be like, you know... like a fucking stray dog, you know? It'll be fucking
I
easy.
like it. I like the idea.
All right,
we'll expand.
We got to work on it. You want to tip it up or what?
Just the tip. Let's do it.
Well, okay. I didn't really prep here. As you may have been able to tell. Here, why don't you pick one?
Okay.
As you may have been able to tell, we didn't do a lot of prep work. I'm leaving for Berlin for like 4 or 5 weeks. Mike's going to finish up his season down here. And then Mike will be in Pittsburgh. I'll be in the West Coast. Then Mike's going down to Spain for a little bit. So we're going to meet back up in August. For you all, it'll be 2 weeks. But for us, it'll be about 2.5 months.
There's some good questions here. I don't know exactly which one. Wait, you look again. Which one might you want to do? We really, I've said it like every single podcast, but we really appreciate people sending in the comments and the questions.
Yeah.
It not only helps a lot, but you guys think of stuff that we weren't thinking of, and it's great.
I mean, and like I said, I actually was writing somebody on Instagram the other day. Mike and I, we don't know everything. We don't even pretend to. We'll share our experiences. But if you guys have advice to offer, information to give about something, or stories, you know, if you got a funny fucking story, send it in. We don't always have to give advice or comment on it. We could also just share somebody's fucking experience.
Actually, when we do the video portion of this, right? If we start doing video, then perhaps people can send in video questions. That'd be cool.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
No, but we're really trying to look to involve people more. I don't know, man. I can't fucking think.
I kind of like. Let me see one more time.
But Mike and I, we're kind of down to the wire here. So this podcast wasn't the best.
Fuck it, dude. I liked it.
But no, I like it, man.
I like reminiscing about what I like or what I miss in America.
Important
back.
fucking issues are people don't talk about it. Homesickness, loneliness, that adult shit, you know, buying a car, fucking all that. You're going to have to think about it. And we should talk more about that. We should hit some hard issues. What do you got?
We have
you pick one?
user, what was the name of it? What was the username of that person? XX69 something blah blah. No, I'm just fucking kidding. They didn't have a raunchy one. No, it's tips for preparing a role. How do you go about that?
Okay. Tips for preparing
I was going to do one that was related to this podcast, but fuck it. I want to talk about this.
Nah, I should talk about it.
Preparing a role. It's dangerous.
Well, first let me tell you what I was taught to do, which is not what I do.
That's what I mean. It's dangerous because you do what you're taught, and it's all good advice, but sometimes you just got to throw that fucking shit away.
What were you taught to do?
Well, no, you go. Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say.
I was taught very specifically that first you separate the words from the music, and you learn the words like a monologue, and you learn the music on like and then once you have the music how you want it and the words how you want it, you put them together.
No, that's
what I was taught. That's not what I do. But that's what I was taught.
Well, first off, that is a way that could be effective. I don't know, but it is not the way. That is not the way to do it. The other thing is, I think you run into some danger if you do it that way of making the words and the music completely independent of one another.
Yeah.
And they're not. They shouldn't be. The music should be motivated by the words and vice versa, which I think you do them both together. I mean, technically, if you want to learn it on just the melody and stuff like that, if you want to work that in, that's a different deal altogether.
Well, also, that sounds like to me that's a pretty ideal situation, you know?
Yeah.
Jared, can you sing Marcello in 5 months? Yeah, okay, then I could do that. But the reality is usually you're under the wire, you know? And you have to be flexible. Like, if someone gave me a role 6 months in advance, I would learn it completely differently than, like, the situation I'm currently in.
I don't think I would.
I don't have fucking time to separate the words and the music.
I don't. Okay? I would just never do that because find it.
I do it with sections, though. I will say that when there are very dramatic moments, especially with like recitative or something like that, of course I separate the words and the music. You know?
Huh?
Yeah.
You just what? You'll go through and learn the da 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 da.
No, I don't do that. But I will of course speak through the words.
Yeah. Okay.
With a dramatic part of an aria, I will take like the big phrase and I will get it like said how I want to say it, and then I'll put it into the music.
Okay, I understand.
Not
that.
a whole fucking roll, though. You know.
Yeah,
I pick and choose.
I absolutely. Yeah, that just you mean just sitting down with the text and working with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I'm working on, for this audition, I got tomorrow, Finca da Vino, right? Fast fucking song, right? Finca da Vino. But there's, like, sections where I will take out a sentence and I will speak through it.
But you
so I can get it in my mouth.
You wouldn't do the music without the words.
No, I wouldn't go, ha, ha, ha,
right. I was confused. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That does nothing for you.
No, I wouldn't do that shit. But, okay, we haven't given any tips yet, but what I'm saying is the reality is how I learned a role in college was like next year you get to sing a role. These days, I often have like, I don't know, 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I once heard you have to live with a role for a year before you can start rehearsing it. You don't have that.
That's why you can't take your advice only from fucking stars, you know?
That's right, because they might be
stars do know what they're doing in 5 years.
Right, that's true. They can start learning it and they can work it into, but you don't have that sort of time. If you're fest in house,
you're fest. Do you know what you're doing in September?
Yeah, I do because it's already at the end of the year, and they tell you. I mean, they tell you well enough in advance, I guess. Like for the things at the end of the year, I already know a year.
I mean, how many times are you learning a role, 2 roles while you're singing another role?
Yeah, that's happening. That's happening next year.
All the time.
I'm going to be refreshing. We're doing this one. Big Messiaen opera, and then during that I'll have to be refreshing another role that I've done before, and then working on a different role. So
you don't have the luxury of like separating everything out.
No. But what you do, so even if you do have the luxury, right? Mm-hmm. There's a dangerous thing that you encounter, right? The first time I did The Witch in Hänsel and Gretel, right? I prepared the shit out of that. I wanted to do that role so badly. And I finally got it. I had all these ideas. I get to the first day of rehearsals, and the staging, the concept, was nothing like I had prepared, which means that I had to take a lot of that and just throw it out the window and do something new. Yeah. The preparation was good because now I have that in me, but oftentimes it doesn't help you for the job at hand, which is doing that production of that role. Especially nowadays.
Well, I'm telling you, all you got to do is change fucking aria 10 beats per minute, you know, and it's a completely different fucking world. Yeah. Especially this patter shit, stuff, but also like legato, fluid stuff. I mean, you getting in that director has a little bit of a different idea than you want. He doesn't want to stretch where you were stretching. You got to go in there flexible, and you can over-prepare sometimes.
Absolutely.
If your ideas are too deeply ingrained.
Well, okay, so let's get back. So we said what the problems are with with preparing. What are your tips then? How do you prepare? What can you do to prepare?
I mean, I go story first. Actually, before I do anything, I have to really understand the story. Yeah. I don't know why. My brain works like that. I have to have the beginning and end, and so then I have an arc in mind.
From your character or every character?
The whole story. I start big, the whole fucking book. I read it, the libretto, whatever, and then I go down to my character, and I have to have a really good idea of what the character is, because then I can't learn an aria if I don't know what kind of sounds I'm gonna have. How can I know the sounds if I don't know who the character is, if I don't know the story?
My question is,
big to small.
Do you know all the motivations behind another character's aria or another character's character decisions? Do you know all that stuff too?
I do my best, but some of that you have to wait till you meet those people. Because that's the other thing is you have an expectation of like, Carmen's going to do this, and then you get a Carmen that like is playing it like this, and you fight what her character is, then it's not going to work. You have to be open.
We gotta cover that opera soon. That's a good opera.
Yeah, let's do it, man. That's a good one.
That's a good fucking one. But I tell you something though. I don't necessarily like knowing other characters' motivations. People disagree with me on this sometimes, but I don't. I was once asked by somebody who was in the audience. They said, "Hey, why did this character do this?" I said, "I don't fucking know." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, that's not my character. I don't want to know that. The more you know it, the harder it is to not anticipate. Because the worst thing you can do as an actor, is anticipate what somebody's going to do.
Yeah, I don't learn.
You need to stay fresh to what their choices are.
Yeah. I won't do too much research on scenes I'm not in for that reason.
Right, you don't want to know that.
I don't want to know what Tosca said to fucking whoever.
Because your character doesn't know that.
Yeah, and if I do know, then I'm going to be like, oh, she's trying to trick me. Yeah, it's going to be deep in there somewhere.
Absolutely.
And you can't do that shit.
That's my whole point. I mean, so as somebody who's curious about an opera, of course you learn everything. But when you're preparing a role, and like I said, I'm going to get some shit for this maybe because a lot of people feel differently about this. Yeah. But I'm telling you, with the 45 fucking roles I've done so far, it helps to not know the other character's motivation. It does, because you can't. No matter what you do, if you know what's coming, like if you really deep down know what's coming, it's harder to make your reaction genuine.
Yeah, sure.
And that's my tip.
Yeah,
that's my tip. Maybe concentrate on your character and how on what's going on with them.
Yeah, and I mean, the tips for preparing a role are different based on where you are in your career and what you're doing too. But I always try to learn it like someone who would learn a movie. You know, someone who loves a movie so much that they know every single word of that movie.
Yeah.
You have to kind of be like that about the operas you do, if you can. You know what I mean? That like you just know it so much that when someone else sings, you know instantly, that's that part of the show.
Yeah, but aren't you always like that after like when you get to the end of the rehearsals?
When I get to the end of the rehearsals, of course. But when I'm learning the role, I try to already start doing that.
Yeah.
I try to just have it on in the background. I have it on when I'm driving, you know?
Like what's going on in the background here?
Yeah, their song. I know you guys can hear that. They're fucking cutting up the earth.
It's beautiful.
But you know what I mean? Like I don't just do my part. Listen to it passively sometimes. Don't always actively listen to it, but just have it be a part of your life. Like a movie you've seen for 10 years, you know? And so then it's just like, you just know.
Yeah.
Because and I'm worse about this than you are, because I kind of obsess about being able to define things, you know? Like, that's page 100, measure 3. But like, when you really know something, you just know, and you don't need the vocabulary or words for it.
What I like is when you get to the point where really you can do the, what's it called, needle drop.
Yeah.
You can do a needle drop at any point, like, you don't necessarily. So if you're in a rehearsal, a staged orchestra rehearsal or something like that, it's very important communication. If like they say, okay, we're starting here, that's this, right? I like when they don't have to say that. They can just start wherever, and I just fucking go.
That's
when
you really know. They start the chord, and you're like, "Oh fuck!" and you just start. Singing.
Even though you didn't really prepare, you're like, "Whoa, hey, I got it."
Right.
There it is. There's that note.
Yeah, I mean, what was your tip? The character. Focus on the character.
Yeah, you have to know how your character is, and not necessarily the other ones. I just find it important for staying fresh and vibrant in reacting. Reacting is basically acting.
Yeah.
Reacting is basically
acting. And I mean, it also matters where your focus is. If you want to impress the director or the conductor, you know, then all your rhythms got to be right. Every note has to be in tune. But actually, the audience, they care more about intention. And it's the little musical things, it's the little character things that they see more.
Yeah.
Then, like for instance, this Escamillo's aria. Nobody sings that rhythmically correct.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's so many dotted rhythms in that fucking aria. Nobody fucking does it.
Yeah.
I've heard like a few people fucking do it. I don't do it.
Although,
right?
But here's the thing. I'll give you some advice. Not you, but everybody. Go in knowing exactly what the right rhythms are, because if you show up to a thing and there is a conductor that wants to make a deal of it,
then you better be able to make that switch. Yep.
And you got to be able to say, okay, that was just a choice that I did, maybe from a last coaching or a last production I did.
Yeah.
Here's the way it's supposed to sound, and you got to know that. The whole adage that you have to know the roles to be able to break them.
Yeah.
Is important.
You got to have it, and also part of being a professional singer is you got to have 3 or 4 ways in your pocket ready. You know, someone says, "Nah, not like that." You know, you got to be like, "Okay, like that." You know, you can't just have your one fucking way of singing the aria and that's it. You got to be flexible.
It's kind of weird because that's we talked about on the last podcast. We talked about people being able to be spontaneous and do things. And sometimes, it is good advice saying be flexible, but not everybody can do it.
No,
Not
but,
everybody can be the sort of genuine musician that does that sort of stuff.
yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I'm just saying that's easier said than done. A lot of people can't do that.
I mean, and lock in the basics. You know what I mean? Like, before you get on, like, valve formants and resonance and, like, am I going to fucking cover this note or not?
Yeah.
Which is also part of learning a role, is getting it into your voice.
Yeah.
It's got to be in fucking tune. The rhythm's got to be right.
Right.
You know, the words got to be correct. I mean, I don't care how professional you get. Sometimes people forget to, like, smooth over the basics.
Yeah.
The basics have to be there before you start doing all the big, complicated shit.
Well, if the basics
Lay down
aren't
the
there,
groundwork.
what are you doing getting hired? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of people do that. You know, you finally get to sing fucking Kanyo, so you're gonna
Right.
turn to Vestila Juba before you sing anything else, and you're just gonna get that fucking and you're gonna fucking hook into that shit. You know,
The Alasahai.
that's
Alasahai!
that's fucking tempting. That's tempting as shit. You know.
It's like the one meme you made. The pie chart. You're working on an aria. Singing the high note is 90% of it. Working on the rest of the
I mean,
aria.
you baritones fucking write me in, or Queen of the Nights. You know, when you first got that role, did you not go to the end and sing the Della Città? You
Right.
know, did you
Right.
not sing the high F before you went and worked the beginning of the aria?
Everybody's
Tell the fucking truth, all right?
Everybody's guilty. You're guilty. And if you're not, you're lying.
Mike, what else you want to say, huh?
Oh, I got all kinds of stuff. This beer, by the way. Phew.
That's kind of a strong one. Be careful.
Campbell
I got to be
Black
honest.
Shark.
I looked at the flavors and I looked at the name, but I did not look at the percentage, man.
Oh no, it's fine. I like it. It's a hell of a thing.
No, we don't have much to do today. We
The American beer I miss. The craft beer scene is here in Germany isn't bad, but it's not like America.
man, the porters out in Seattle.
I'm
If
bringing
you guys
stuff
go to
back,
Seattle,
dude.
man, get some. I'll bring you back some porters from Seattle. I'm heading up to Seattle too for a couple days for
Nice.
a weekend.
Nice. Going to Mount Rainier.
Fucking Mount Rainier, man. Rainier beer.
Rainier. Did they have a Rainier beer?
Yeah, it's kind of the cheap stuff up there. you know.
Nice.
It's good though. It's good.
Hey, I've got another thing. I want to ask the people. What else are you guys listening to out there? There are
podcasts, you mean?
Yeah, podcasts or anything where you're getting informed. I'd like to know what else is out there. There's a deep dark web of awesome stuff out there. I'd love to you guys to send us some links. We like to. We're also fans of learning. We're also both Jared and I. We would, I think, consider ourselves autodidacts. We like to teach ourselves new things, and I like to hear this stuff. So if you guys got some tips for that stuff, I'm down. I'm ready to listen.
Yeah. I mean, like
I got time, baby.
Yeah. I mean, send in your. We get a lot of feedback, and I enjoy it. You know.
Yeah.
We get a lot of feedback about what we can do better, but also what you want, but also what you can share. You know. That's the thing we haven't got enough of yet. Is people like sharing
People's
like,
stories.
Like, hey, I heard you guys talk about this. Did you know? Like, I know I'm an expert in that. Fucking blah blah blah. We get none of that. We don't get much of that. Or stories, man. I guess
Yeah,
maybe
because
we should tell
people-
stories. Maybe I haven't told any
People are
dirty
probably
stories yet,
drinking
you know?
with. People are probably drinking with us and getting all fucked up and forgetting to do that stuff at the end of it, dude. It's our fault, maybe.
Is anybody drinking with it?
I
don't
hope
know.
so. I hope people.
We should set up a format where people could like more easily participate.
Okay,
right?
so a couple things. Send in stories,
Yeah.
and we also need to start talking about some sex, dude. Sex and drugs. We need to start talking
After
about.
the
It's in
summer, we'll come back.
goddamn name.
All right, we'll talk about it. I'm
The
ready.
other thing is send in your beer recommendations, guys.
I got one actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't bring it out yet. We'll
Yeah.
look at it and buy that shite and then bring it out. But you got any interesting stories to top this thing off?
Interesting stories to top this thing off. Regarding what?
The sex and drugs. Get it
I
out there.
I have
dude.
a lot. I
You
don't
have
think
a lot of stuff.
I think we're gonna have to do a whole show about it, man. That's
nice, dude.
That's a big part of the business,
That's
man.
a big part of the business.
That's a big part of the business. I'll tell you one. No, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save them all.
Save it all. Okay, never mind. People, we're gonna do a whole either sex episode or drug episode or maybe just a specific thing about sex in the opera world.
Hey, I mean, we should do a sex one because when you were training, when you were in school, did you enter the career? Did you have any idea how fucking like depraved most of it is? You know what I mean? Like how like. How much like incestual fucking chorus people, fucking opera people in the hotel room shit there was going on?
There's some pent up sexual expression.
I mean, that's
going
part
on.
of being an artist, theater. I think it's always been that way.
Casting couches exist, dude. They fucking exist in
Look,
this business.
I mean, I mean, after the summer, I don't know if we should start hitting on some harder topics.
Let's just give them a teaser now. We're talking about what's coming, guys.
I mean,
what's coming. Oh!
No, but I mean, there's some big shit, like that we could kind of bring up, and I don't know how sensitive to get,
Some of it, look, I gotta say, some of it gets on my tits a bit because there are people who are casting. They know the casting couch exists and they take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the casting couch sometimes is considered an okay thing and sometimes not. But that like I said, it fucking exists in this industry.
It does. And look,
Not that it's everything. It's not everything, but it definitely exists.
no, it
And with
does
everything that's
exist.
going on recently with the whole
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein and
Yeah,
everything,
of course.
to think that opera is somehow exempt from that is crazy.
And something that's always pissed me off for years is that if I go to like an audition or I go to an opera gala and I sing fucking Wagner, right? Some big fucking shit. They'll be like, no, Jared, this is too young. You're gonna hurt your voice. The opera world is very worried about my voice. They care, what I mean? They care a lot about my voice. But the amount of times I've seen these nasty fucking directors going after young fucking sopranos.
Yeah.
That same guy, wow, dude, you're really worried about my voice. I really appreciate that, but you're a fucking monster. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why are you guys so worried about my voice? Let me break my voice if I
Right.
want to. Deal with the real fucking problems.
Nice.
Why are you guys so worried if I hurt my... it drives me fucking crazy.
No, dude, we got
'Cause you know what I mean?
shows.
The
We
whole-
got shows coming up, dude. Save it. Pull back.
Just the whole...
You turned it on again. We're getting excited,
all
good
right.
people. Hey, listen, we're going to go and we're going to have some fun in America. And we're going to come back here and we're going to hit the ground running, maybe with some video and some sex and some drugs.
August, we're going
An
to start it
opera.
up. It'll be big. We'll get the website up as soon as I can. We'll get merch. We'll get video. We're gonna keep it growing.
Merch. I like it.
So
see you, people.
See you in 2 months, but I guess for you it's gonna be 2 fucking weeks.
Yep. Later.